bashing should occur?
I don't know. I'm on the fence until I
When
know
when it's
what the
warranted.
bash he did.
I don't even know what the subject matter is. but
Right. Nobody knows because
it's your show, so
I've held this. So why don't we all mute ourselves and start this little ditty?
Once a week, three laddies come together from distant lands to talk about Bigfeet, Martians, ghosts, time travel, chupacabras, and the Sweetwater legend.
I think we're all huge fans of the Sweetwater legend.
This is the Fortean Slip. With your host, Chris York.
Say no to Quaaludes? Fuck no. Wait a minute. No. Say yes.
Co-host, Steve Alcorn.
Like, take a break, shut my camera off,
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
sandwich.
And sometimes special guest, Matt Knapp.
Just
Right, you're right.
accept it for what it is and just watch it and enjoy it.
They don't know who you are. They don't know what you want. If you're looking for entertainment, you may have come to the wrong podcast. But what they do have is a very particular set of skills.
There are no cows.
No cows.
No.
No cows were harmed in the making of this incident. We often wish that your relationship went much like that of the praying mantis.
I thought that was a reference to everything being green.
Yeah, sure you did. Carry on, gentlemen. I'm going to do something else for a little while.
Wow, Steve, would you like us to stop the program so you continue to do your shit?
You're about to witness the strength of creep knowledge.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 126, Skinwalker Ranch.
dressing.
Yes. I think I did that joke once on one of the titles. That's why I refrained this time.
See, look at me. I'm all over a show that you've already done.
We've done it a couple of times, actually.
Jeez.
I don't remember any of them, but we've done it a couple.
Yeah. I think we actually did it back when you were on the show originally.
I believe you.
And I know we did one when Richard was on the show. Because that was when I called it Skinwalker Ranch and Other Dressings. But it is what it is. Had a discussion with our good friend Mr. Phil Poling this morning.
Phil Poling.
Yes, and Phil posed a question to me. And I'm going to bring up the chat that I had with him.
Oh boy.
So that I'm pretty sure Phil had been drinking.
No.
Because one of the things that he said to me was,
Hey, look at my dick.
yeah, hey, look at my dick. No, it was, I'm trying to find it. I'm going back through everything right now. By the way, my respite from booze, a total failure, is what he said to me.
Well, yeah, that would indicate he's been drinking.
So, I had mentioned to Phil because I, of course, have seen all this shit about Caden Bayless down in Australia. This 9-year-old kid that everybody all of a sudden decided to say, he's fucking 18. He's fucking scamming everybody. And it takes like 5 seconds to Google some shit to know that he's not 19. Right. And the minute you say that to them, every single one of them are like, well, it's the mother's behavior that I'm really concerned about. Which is it? Which fucking is it? So what I had said to Phil was you should get to the bottom of this Caden Bayless thing. So his response to me, the first one, right, go to the bottom of Caden Bayless. And I said, yeah, that's it. You blow as a friend. And he said, that's what Richter said.
I mean, that's a pretty good jab right there.
So
You have to be careful when you draw your blade on old Phil Poland.
so he says to me later on in the conversation, but you still need to properly trim that field of sagebrush on your face. To which I said, in another month. And I said, and he says, oh, are you growing for a fundraising thing? No, Phil. Why wait a month? You could look spiffy tomorrow. So I had to explain to him the concept of what I've been trying to do with the show and the whole beard hair thing, and to which finally I get, oh yes, fuck, I forgot about that. And then goes into this short-term memory thing that he has, and the fact that he's drinking again.
A short-term memory thing commonly known as not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have that same issue.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, you usually just give me the thumbs up. You fucking dick.
You know when I don't want to talk to Chris. I just on Facebook, yes.
He just thumbs me up. I stop immediately.
I was having a conversation with Leslie the other day through text messages, and trying to pull it up real fast to jog my memory exactly what it was about. It didn't go well. I'm not sure she actually noticed, but I was pretty scared at the moment. I was bitching at her about something, I'm sure, and she said something else, and I went to give her the thumbs up because I didn't want to talk anymore, and I gave her the middle finger instead.
It means the same thing.
Like, we always wanted that fucking emoji, and now that we have it, you really don't want it.
My favorite is when you're trying to send somebody something, it just fucking changes it to the total wrong word and then the context is something completely different.
Oh, that's right. That was my response to her telling me that my stepdaughter had won her choir competition.
Fuck you.
Well, okay, so the way that the competition works is they're not actually competing against other people. They're just going for a good score. And the best score you can get is a 1. And she says, Maddie got a 1 in her choir performance. And I gave her a middle finger in response.
That's awesome.
I got a number 1 for you.
Yeah.
So
I was telling Matt too, because I caught him on. I actually listened to you on is it your former co-host show?
Well, yeah, I've done a bunch of shows with him, and they're in the same Bigfoot group that I associate with, and we're friends and stuff.
Yeah, and the first thing I noticed was that Matt sounds way more Southern when he talks to them than when he talks to us, Steve.
Yeah.
And I had to admit, like, if I go someplace like fucking down East Maine or Boston, fucking forget it. my accent goes off the charts. If I go to Boston, I sound like fucking Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting.
And I start
saying, well, I got a fucking number. How do you like them apples?
I start going into my Popeye's chicken commercial mode.
Yeah. I was just like, I fucking was like, what the fuck?
Who the fuck is this guy?
But that was it was actually interesting to listen to your you talk about your sighting though. And all it was really cool. I mean, I'm not a fan of what of what that type of show is or whatever, but I did like I did like how it come off. It was entertaining. So,
Well, good.
you know, if anybody wants to check that out.
After sight, you know, I was like sitting back reflecting on the show and everything because it went for a really long time. Like they got me talking, and I don't know, I haven't talked that long in a while, but it was like thinking back, wait, I said that shit on the air? Like I should have said that.
Oh,
you know?
no, fuck.
I was
Yeah.
just all over the place. But
Well, and anytime you do something like this, you're bound to fucking say something every once in a while where you stick your foot in your mouth.
yeah,
I do it every week,
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, it's me. I do it intentionally a lot of times, but
I do not.
yeah, you're just a fucking train wreck. I just, you know, listen, I just want you to look into what your medications are, Steve.
or what
it's
they're supposed to be.
It's anti-forgetting memory. Anti-forgetting
What?
medication.
I don't fucking remember what it is.
I don't.
Yeah, because he says to me, I'm on some new medication. I'm like, so what is it? I don't know. What?
Thorazine.
Yeah, like I'm all
Oh,
right.
lithium.
Yeah, I was just gonna say lithium.
It's not lithium. I would remember that.
Oh, you'd be fucking if it was lithium.
HGH.
It's
You're like,
it's
"Oh,
a it's a
he doesn't need that shit. I've met the motherfucker. He's tall.
it's a chronic fatigue type thing medication.
I'm wondering if they put you on some type of an amphetamine.
I don't know.
You can tell that he's pretty high right now.
Yeah. Oh, look at him.
I mean, he's bouncing off the walls.
He's
Yeah.
he's above the fucking skyline.
Can you imagine Steve on
technically,
meth? He'd be
on
like
the level.
normal.
Holy shit!
He'd be like completely normal.
Like most people would be cleaning their house and fucking
Yeah.
doing odd shit. Steve would just be. It'd be like Pleasantville. That fucking house is like Pleasantville, man.
It is.
You've never been here, Matt.
I don't have to be there. I know. I know.
He fucking can tell just by the vibe.
Yeah, this house is far from Pleasantville.
It looks
I mean,
like a
it's
very
pleasant.
nice place to have Easter.
It is.
Yeah.
We don't celebrate Easter, but whatever.
Right. You don't celebrate anything. I know. Anything that benefits children, you're out.
Yes.
I got that.
That
He's
is correct.
against it. Fuck that shit.
Why would I
Steve's
give
like
things to kids?
Steve might as well be a Jehovah's Witness, except he doesn't have the religion.
I actually saw him post on the bullying thing, and he was like, I don't care if he's 18 or 9, fuck him.
I did not do that.
So I am 20 days into the cannabis break.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask about.
Wait a minute, hold on. Most common question I have gotten recently is, and I was talking with Katie about this before the show. Well, how come it's just 26 days?
Wow, that's my question. Well, I'm just saying, in my head, I thought you said a month.
That's what I
I
thought.
said
yeah.
until the end of the month.
Well, yeah, he did say that. You're right.
And this is a leap year.
And he chose the shortest month.
I chose
Me
the
too.
shortest fucking month.
But it's a leap year, so he added a day onto it.
Yeah. And I've said this already. My only regret with it, but I'm standing on what I said. I said I would do it till the end of the month. My regret is that I should have started earlier. I was under the impression that I couldn't handle it going up to Super Bowl with my cousin and my aunt and uncle and the whole group up there. So I held off. Now, technically, I've actually been 21 days without. Excuse me. But I didn't count the first day because there was some overlap on my smoking into the morning. So I didn't count Monday. I started on Tuesday for my count. So it's technically been 21 days, but I regret that I didn't start it the 1st of February. But I'm going to go till the end of the month. And then throughout the year, I'd already made the decision after I'd been through like a week and a half of this. And I had been thinking about it before too, that I'm going to take regular weeks off. Like every like month and a half, I'm going to take like a week. And then in October, I'm going to do the sober October thing when Joe Rogan and the crew do it. I'm going to take the whole month of October off. So this isn't something that is, just a flash in the pan thing that I'm just, going to stop for just this month and then go back to just doing it, like I was. The whole idea behind this was that I enjoy doing it. And a long time ago, and it took me a while to realize this, a long time ago, I stopped enjoying it. It was just like smoking, like cigarettes. It became like that to me. Like, it was just like, I was just like feeding like a craving, rather than enjoying it like I used to. And then I ran out for a couple of days. And when I got some, I got super fucking high. And I sat back in my chair and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is what I've been missing. And I really wanted to take a step back and look at things. And I enjoy it. I'm not going to stop doing it, but I'm going to moderate it, because if I'm going to do it, then it deserves to be moderated, because anything in overuse can be a problem. Ask anyone with a fucking food addiction. Anything. Too much fucking water can kill you. So I wanted to reset and reassess and excuse me, and kind of like take some stock in things. And the one thing that I've noticed about this whole month is that I realized a lot of things about myself and what I do, my routines when it comes to this shit, when I would look for it.
Like
Matt,
now.
yeah. Fuck is that? Like, Matt knows these past couple of days were a little rough for me. And I'm not going to go into the details of it. But if anything tested my fucking, my resolve in this, it was the last fucking couple of days. But in that, I realized what a lot of times what I was using it for, and it was to fucking just mask pain. Fuck this shit. Let's fucking go here. And that was the wrong way to do it. And I want to just go back to enjoying it. Like, hey, I'm going to sit down and watch a movie. Hey, fucking smoke a little bit of weed and watch a movie. Rather than, hey, it's fucking 2. I'm going to smoke. Hey, it's 3. Which a lot of people do. I mean, I'm not going to fucking... There are a shit ton of people who live their life that way. It's an all day, everyday thing. And it just became something, because for a while I looked at it like a way to curb my anxiety. And at the time, I would say that was the case. Now, not so much. And that's one of the things that I learned over the course of this month, or the past 21 days now, currently, is that, the times when I look for it are not the times when I should have been. Like, that's why I needed to reassess this, and I want to moderate it. I think that's the best way for me to go about it, because, like I said, it's not something that I want to I'm want to just say, man, I'm done with this, because I do enjoy it. Like, when I had that feeling when I ran out, the first thing that came into my brain was, wow, the fuck, like, why have I not been feeling this? And then I went, oh yeah, because you're a dumbass. And I had to, there was a lot of things, and Matt brought it up, and I'll fucking throw myself under the bus with this one. The night that I fucking freaked out before the show about fucking them showing up late with my weed. that was a fucking thing that made me fucking look at shit. That was another part of it. Because I started seeing, you know, old behavior that was related to something, you know, that I was horribly addicted to, which was pills. And, you know, when that realization fucking clicked in, you know, and Matt and I talked about it, and he was one of the few people that said anything to me about it. And he was like, hey, dude, I didn't want to say
Here's
anything.
the deal, man. So like everybody can relate to that moment where something happens that triggers something in us, and it causes an eye opening for a moment, you know, a moment of clarity where we're like, oh fuck, you know.
Yeah.
But to follow through and actually do something.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many addicts have those fucking clear-headed moments for a second and realize, you know, they're in a hole and they want to get out, but not a lot of them take any action.
Right. I mean, so I commend you to, you know, for what you've done. I'm certainly not going to quibble over the difference between, you know, 26 days compared to 28 days or 30. That doesn't fucking matter. But like, it's hard. Like I've been there. It's hard to do anything, and you've done it and you've stuck with it. Even during the times, like you said, whenever it would have been very easy just to say, fuck it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there's been so many moments in the past couple of days, you know, that I have cried fucking horribly. Like I said, I'm not. I don't want to get into it. It's a very personal thing. But you know, there's there's just so many times during the past, you know, 48 or so hours. It was, you know, yesterday and Friday more or less, but that I looked at it. And I didn't budge. You know, I never reached for it. My brain never went, all right, yeah, why don't we? I was steadfast. I was like, no.
But I think that's a very powerful message, because during those times, instead of using that as your crutch, you used the people that cared about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
man.
you know, that tells people right there, you know, like, hey, we all have those times.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't have to turn to that addiction to fix it.
Or whatever the case
Or
may
whatever the case may be.
You don't need that I don't want to call it a drug band-aid, but you know, like that's the other thing. It's like seeing those those things within myself, or what made me say, okay, this needs to be, if I'm going to do this, then this needs to be a thing that is enjoyed, not overused.
Right.
And that's where I'm at with it. And hey, listen, my whole take on this might change over the course of the next year. I might all of a sudden say, I'm fucking done. I don't know, because this whole past 21 days, whatever the fuck you want to call it, has been eye-opening for me. I'll tell you, the biggest thing is fucking the dreams. Holy shit. I have had some of the weirdest fucking ass dreams. I had a dream the other morning that I was like, there were like Cthulhu monsters. There was fucking, the police force was all corrupt and they were trying to kill all of us and torture us. I wound up being the last person alive. There was a herd of deer for some reason in a fenced off area. I dove on the back of a cop to take him out because he was trying to kill my friend. And then I ran away. When I come around the side of the house, there's a line of cops just waiting to fucking take us all out as we come out of the house. I'm like fucking digging backwards, running back. And all I remember at the end is I'm fucking staring up at the sky and waiting to die. I haven't had a nightmare like that. And like, I woke up not like terrified or anything. I woke up and I was just like, what the fuck? that was how I woke up. I woke up and I like saw the light in the room and I went, what the fuck was that? Because I've had some other really powerful dreams recently. I had one about my fucking ex-wife that I woke up fucking shaking. I was just fucking like, it shook me. Had some crazy sex dreams. Holy fuck. I mean, it's just been weird. And I'll be honest, I'd like them to go away again at this point. Like, this fucking dreams have been fucking me up. It's been interesting though. Because it's been so long since I've had, real vivid, intense dreams. A lot of times I'll wake up with like, this vague memory of something or whatnot. But like the amount of dreams, holy shit. It'll rock your fucking world. At least it did for me. But yeah, I mean, oof. I don't know if anybody, I know there were a few people who had said something to me on the like page, because I've been posting the pictures every day with the update of what day it is. People are probably annoyed as shit by now. I don't care. That there were some people that said something about wait for the dreams. So it wasn't like I wasn't completely expecting something, but holy shit. That one the other morning, whew, it wasn't rough, but I woke up and I was just like, huh? Like a lot of it just like made no sense whatsoever. You know how in your dreams, like you cut from one thing to another and you don't know how you got from one place to the other place? A lot of that in that dream. But it all made sense in the moment. Like, hey, yeah, Cthulhu monsters, and then the cops. What the fuck is going on here? But, hey, I read a lot of weird fucking wacky shit. I just read through that Joe Hill novel, The Fireman, and now I'm rereading Weave World by Clive Barker. I mean, so it isn't like I don't, and I've read some Lovecraft, not fairly recently, but recently. So it's not like this shit isn't in my head. I do go to sleep watching a lot of true crime stuff. So, like, it's not way outside the box that I would dream about this shit. It was just strange to go through it. I mean, we've all had those fucking dreams where we're just like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't think I'm alone here. No, Steve.
No, you are. You're completely alone.
I'm all by myself.
We just let you ramble on there for a while. So
How about?
No, I've had dreams like that. I don't, I'm like you. I don't have vivid dreams normally, but when they come, I want them to go away too. They suck.
Yeah. Like nightmares. I haven't had nightmares, like real nightmares, in it's been a long time. And sometimes they shake you right to your core. Like I had one dream, and this was actually within the past, like it was probably like 2 years ago, and I was being tortured. And when I woke up, I was just like, what the fuck? I was shaking. I was like, because I actually felt the pain. And when I woke up, I kind of still was feeling it a little bit. And it just kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. So
it was on just an over-the-counter sleep aid, just melatonin.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that shit reacts with me when I'm in the dreams I had.
Well, melatonin it's something that your body produces naturally.
Yeah.
When you sleep.
For some reason, though, when I was on that shit, holy fuck, the dreams I had. So I quit using it.
Yeah, it's and I used to use it a lot to help me sleep when I worked third shift, because someone had mentioned it to me like it was a good natural aid for people who are off their circadian rhythm.
I slept well. I mean, I couldn't fall asleep, but once I did,
you're out.
But the dreams I was having, And maybe that's what I'm supposed to be like. Maybe that's the norm.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're fucked up, Steve.
Maybe that's why I don't sleep well, is because my mind is telling me not to. I don't know.
What?
I
What
don't know.
the
That's
hell
what
is
really.
Will L talking about?
You and him are the same age, minus a few months,
Okay, yeah.
of the same type of cannabis usage.
Oh, okay.
We went through the
Thank you,
same thing in October and November.
Oh,
I mean, that was pretty clear.
I'm sorry, Steve.
What the fuck are you talking about? What language are you speaking?
I know, right? I don't know how Steve could understand that as well as he could. Maybe it's the drugs he's on, Matt.
Maybe they are working.
Yeah, no, it is going well for me, Will. And by and large, there's been a lot of positive support concerning it. However, there's just been a ton of, not a ton, but for a while there was at least once a day somebody referring to me as a junkie or something on the like page, not on my personal
You're a
page.
junkie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Idiots.
And there was someone on my personal page that said something, and I deleted his comment and unfriended him. Like, it was just like, really? I just don't understand why people have to do that shit.
How could, I don't know. How would somebody not be supportive of somebody doing this?
Oh, it was, I don't understand why you would stop doing weed, man. And when I tried to explain myself, he just like went on a tirade. And I was like, I don't have time for you. I don't have the time or the energy for you. I didn't do this for you. I did this for me. And that's been my whole thing with this the whole way through is I don't care. Like if people want to be supportive, that's awesome. If people want to be dicks, I can easily get rid of them. I didn't do this for anybody else. I did this for me. And anyone who tries to do anything for that involves them for other people, I'm sorry, but that's not the way to do it.
You'll fail.
Yeah. You need
every time I tried to quit smoking, I failed because I wasn't doing it for me.
Right.
Yep. Every time.
And I've talked to some other people who, there's one guy that said he was a weekend, not using. And hey man, good on you. If I've happened to inspire some people, awesome. That's it's not what I was looking for. Like what I was looking for was in 6 days to be able to smoke some of that and go, that's good. I mean, ultimately, that's what it was. What I wanted to do. And then other things kind of fell into place with it. I saw that behavior and I was like, yeah, I need to take a moment and look at me. And I did. And I don't care if Phil Poland thinks I'd look spiffy with a shaved up beard or not. I don't give a fuck. Like that's the other this shit. Like I'm not trying to impress anybody here.
Yeah, it's not very impressive.
Right.
Not at all.
I mean, maybe if you're starting like a country music career in the 80s.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of spiffy.
But I mean, the whole idea is if I do wind up dyeing it blue, I wanted it longer so that I could dye it all and then
not actually dye your face.
And not actually dye my face and trim it up a little bit. So if anybody had been paying attention, Phil, they'd have known that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Welcome to the program, Phil. But yeah, Skinwalker fucking Ranch. That lovely place. This is Matt's idea to go back into this. No, and I like that it was your idea, Matt, because you had said that you really hadn't gone in depth with it. I know we talked about it before, but I don't, like I said, with you on the show, but I don't know that we ever did an in-depth episode on Skinwalker Ranch. I know we did when Richard was on the show. I know that for a fact. And I know that there's like some new stuff surrounding that as far as like a TV show or something going on.
Yeah.
I was looking on the Wikipedia page, and I don't know if yes, it is. Yeah, that's in the Katie put that in there. So I'll just get into it anyway. Skinwalker Ranch, sometimes known as Sherman Ranch as well, is a 480-acre property near Ballard, Utah. It is often called a paranormal hotspot because of the many reports of strange happenings there dating back to the 1800s. The things that happen there are widely varied and cover just about the full spectrum of Fortean phenomenon. UFO sightings or lights in the sky, cattle mutilations, sightings of unknown animals, crop circles, objects disappearing and reappearing, strange encounters with wolves, loud booms from underground, and even Bigfoot. Even Big Feet, man.
Big feet.
They got it all.
They got it all.
The name Skinwalker has been coined because of the unknown animals and beasts that are seen. It is a nod to the Navajos' history in the area. The Navajos have the legend of the Skinwalker, which is an evil witch, basically. Like, and these evil witches, them motherfuckers, we've talked about them on the show before. I think like their initiation ritual is like they have to kill a family member or something.
Yeah,
It's
something
pretty simple
fucked up.
in some families.
Yeah. The phenomenon isn't limited to only the property. The entire, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Uinta?
Yeah.
Uinta Basin
Winter.
has had some of the highest numbers of UFO sightings since the 1960s. A significant number of locals in the area believe in the lore of the property and have even had experiences of their own. The ranch changed owners many times through the years, mostly famously the Sherman family, selling it after just 18 months of moving in. It was purchased in 1996 by UFO enthusiast Robert Bigelow, and he moved his research team there, NIDS, the National Institute for Discovery Science.
Mm.
And I know that the Shermans bought it in like 1994. They had 24-hour surveillance on the property with a team of credible scientists, military, and ex-Secret Service members to study the strange activity. They worked quietly for several years, only ever allowing one journalist, George Knapp, no relation.
Of course.
Or is he, Matt?
Who knows? It's part of the Skinwalker mystery.
It's up in the fucking air. To write about their work. NIDS was shut down, or NIDS, I don't know if they prefer it to be pronounced, was shut down in 2004, but replaced with several other research programs. One which was government funded, but nothing significant to modern science ever came of these programs. By 2016, Bigelow sold the property to an undisclosed buyer for $4.5 million. And that was actually, it was sold to Adamantium Holdings, a shell corporation of unknown origin. Adamantium. Do you think Wolverine has something to do with this here, Matt?
Weapon X program.
I
I'm
thought,
thinking.
I thought Adamant had something to do with it.
No. And they have trademarked the name Skinwalker Ranch. In 2000, they put in for it in 2017
because nothing says legitimate scientific research and
trademark. And they were granted the trademark in 2018. And it does border an Indian reservation. Public access to the property has since been cut off, and it is said to be protected by armed guards. The new owners have been very quiet, and not much new has emerged. But in March of this year, the History Channel will premiere a non-fiction series featuring a team of claimed experts studying the ranch. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. It's, yeah. Adam, according to Wikipedia, and take that with a grain of salt, it's Adamantium Holdings, a shell corporation of unknown origin that bought it. And the trademark was filed through Justia Trademarks.
It's just a trademark site, yeah.
Yeah, and it was issued in 2018. And it'll be interesting to see what they come out with all this shit.
I'm gonna guess a lot of horse shit.
Yeah, probably. I sat down today and I listened to some of the accounts of what the Shermans saw. And here's my take on it. It's a good story. There's no evidence to back it up. They didn't like record anything. They didn't document anything. They just had all these stories like that. They saw these huge wolves with their, faces at like chest level to the father. That they would follow these wolf tracks and that they would disappear, like the animal just disappeared into thin air. I guess Mrs. Sherman had one day where she came into the house and she had put away all the groceries, gone into another room, only to come back to see all the groceries back on the counter in the bags. Just all this weird shit. But like I said, nothing documented, nothing recorded, nothing documented, just their stories. Supposedly they saw these balls of light with like liquid inside them, or what seemed to be like liquid inside them. A lot of just, like I said, really cool stories. Do I know that they're for real? I don't know. I know from what we've seen before with this type of stuff, I don't know how much should be believed about it. That's my take. I mean,
how much, I mean, Bigelow bought it. Then there was this NADS research company, and how much information came out from there? I mean, how much scientists, you said nothing, really.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, George Knapp is what? He's written like a couple of books on it.
He's written a lot of
shit. He's done a ton of shows about it. But I mean, I don't know that it has a lot of credibility. I mean, yeah, a lot of people talk about it. A lot of interesting shit supposedly happens there.
But none really ever documented.
Just wow.
Wow.
Really?
What?
We're on completely different ends on this one, fellas.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the history of strange lights in the sky and everything in the area go back to the pre-European era.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Native Americans have talked about crazy shit happening there forever.
Right.
The family that bought it, if I remember correctly, which I may be wrong, please interject if I am, but they lived there for something like 18 months before they ever made any claims.
Yep.
They had never made any claims like that before in their lives. It was just a family buying a ranch.
Yep.
And in my mind, I look at it like this. It would be one thing for them to claim a certain type of activity, but to come up with all those different things that are like completely separate, like to me, that adds credibility to it.
Well, okay, like I said, I think it's a good story. Okay, I think that it's interesting. I just don't think there's any evidence to back it up. Like, I just don't know how much stock we should put into it, because then you have all these teams that go out there to do all this research and they come up with nothing.
That's not true.
Well, that's, I mean, from what I can gather,
the NIDS team or whatever, like, did this whole thing where they put up cameras and everything, and they documented this thing that happened where like an entire camera setup was destroyed in one frame of video, and like they brought in like video experts and technical engineers and everything, and they were saying like, I don't see how this is even possible to have happened to this equipment. They've examined the video, and like for everything, like basically the equipment was like destroyed in the matter of one frame of video.
Wow.
And they're saying like nothing could do that. Like we don't have an explanation for that. And then I know the thing that got me interested in the Skinwalker Ranch to begin with was my interest in the paranormal. And now granted, this could all be fake hooey because it was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
But a team of paranormal people went there to investigate the paranormal aspect of it and ended up having a Bigfoot occurrence while they were there. Not something ghost related.
Right.
But they didn't call it a Bigfoot occurrence, but I recognized it as one, you know, from what happened.
Right.
There's just, to me, it's like there's so much stuff that's been claimed. So you have the aspect of, well, it's known for that. So people are going to say that they experience things or go in with the mentality, the pre-expectations of something happening if they go there. So you have to take that into account.
Mm-hmm.
However, whenever you look back on cases involving the paranormal and the unexplained, that's one of the things that we always go to, you know, whenever we look at things from a skeptical point of view, you know, is that predetermined expectation. But how often does it actually happen? I grew up in a house that I believe had paranormal activity. My friends have experienced it. Other family members have experienced
I've been in a house that I experienced some weird shit.
Okay. Do you have any of it documented?
No, I don't have any.
Story?
But I don't sit there and try to be like, hey, completely believe me, this is real. You know, because I can't prove it. Like I'll tell you, this is my story. That's all I can tell you.
But the thing with Skinwalker Ranch is, while no, the family didn't document it, they did report it. And throughout the entire time that it's been owned, other than the time that's going on now, and like NIDS was a legitimate organization who wanted a controlled thing going on while they were studying it. Mm-hmm. But people are invited to go there and check it out for themselves.
I think they should have sent the amazing Randy.
They should have.
I mean, if
I don't think he'd even want to go. I don't think he'd even want to go.
You don't think he would?
No.
Seriously?
Yeah. I don't think he'd go.
I think he'd be the perfect person, or someone like him. You know,
if they had, like, if the claim was, hey, inside the house, there's paranormal activity happening all the time, he would be interested in that. If you're saying, hey, there's crazy creatures running around out here, there's crazy lights in the sky,
he can't move very fast.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he's going to look into that.
That motherfucker hobbles now. If he's even
just in case that one of these things is real.
Well, I'm just saying that's like something where, like, yeah, so the wolves, okay, they saw that one time in like the entire time that they lived there, you know, or
actually they saw him a couple of different times.
But I'm saying, like, that's something that, you know, isn't happening on a regular basis.
Right.
And
maybe there's something in the water.
Just maybe. Saying. Now, it does raise red flags to me that people who have bought adjoining property all claim to have stuff happening on their property as well.
See, I didn't hear anything like that.
Yeah. There's like a
looked into
like a whole thing going on with that.
So maybe we should take an even deeper dive into this shit. We should go even deeper.
Skinwalker Chipotle ranch dressing.
Yeah.
Skinwalker Texas Ranger. We should
now the fact that a TV show is coming out and the Adamantium Corporation. Really? Walker says I've got AIDS. Best episode ever.
Oh shit. So, but maybe we need to take a deeper dive then. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me to go hardcore with, hey, there might be something here. I mean, I haven't talked to any of these people, but we all know from having experiences talking to people, Steve talked to a guy named Norm Glasser.
Really?
And I don't know
Did
if you
Norm,
remember,
hey,
Matt.
did Norm ever respond to you on that?
No. A guy named Norm Glasser, who I ran into the other night.
Not really ringing a bell.
No,
I
if
haven't
you
heard of
remember,
it.
Matt, Steve came to us with this whole thing about Norm Glasser, and hey, I interviewed this guy, and I'm telling you, man, he sounds real legit.
Yeah.
People can sound legit.
And people can sound legit. So again, it's one of those.
They
I
can.
haven't spoken to him.
However,
Been there.
there weren't 50 other people that came forward and said, yeah, I experienced the same thing at the same
Bigfoot
location
head
as
in the
Norm
box.
Glasser. You know, like,
So I saw him the other night. He was commenting on a Greg Newkirk post. For those of you who don't know, Greg Newkirk, he does? He has like a blog. And
he used to be semi-viral.
He used to have a great YouTube channel. I don't know.
Well, he's got that Hellier series now.
Yeah.
That him and his, I think it's his wife does together.
Yeah.
And they have their traveling occult museum or whatever. So anyway, I see Norm Glasser comments on this post of Greg's, and he says, I've been feeling sick or something the past few days or something like that. So I messaged Steve right away with a screenshot, and I'm like, is this the same guy? So Steve goes and looks.
It was the
says,
same guy.
yep, it's the same guy because I still have my message history with him. So I went and grabbed the picture of the Bigfoot, the head in the box, not the image that he proposed, and posted it underneath his comment and said, weren't you the guy that tried to pull this off as a Bigfoot experience? And I got no response to that. So
I was hoping for a response.
So was I.
I was
Then I was
waiting for
going
the
to post
response.
the pictures that you sent me.
Well, no, because I would have done it myself, but there was no response. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
He didn't say a thing. So
It caused me to go back and look at all that shit, though. I mean, I listened to the interview that I did, and I did all that sort of shit. I'm like, oh fuck.
Wow.
And to me, when I go back and listen to that, he still sounds legit. You know, I would have been fooled again today. Maybe not today, but
right. Yeah.
You know, if I was in the same state of mind, I would have still believed the guy.
Yeah. And there's something else I wanted to bring up tonight. Let me hold on. I'll bring it up on my green screen so everybody can see this thing that I found. Godzilla. Yes, Godzilla. Now, where? Oh, it didn't come up. God damn it. Damn you, computer. Matt.
No.
How long have we known each other?
This is what I was worried about.
How long have we known each other, Matt?
Long time. 2007-ish, I think.
Why did you not tell me about the center of the universe?
Oh, okay.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So what did you think was coming, Matt? I want to know what Matt thought was coming.
What was coming, Matt?
That's not important. Yeah, the center of the universe.
I had no idea that the center of the universe, this spot here.
Yes, which is the center of the universe.
The universe. That's what they call it. In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Your home town, city, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. I've known you for how many years now?
I mean, there's stuff here.
I was in Weirton, West Virginia the other day, and they have the world's largest teapot.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's not even a real teapot, but whatever.
The center of the universe is one of those acoustical mysteries.
Right.
That exist all over the place. This one's just kind of weird because it's just out in the open.
Right. It's like downtown or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
And
downtown.
supposedly, if you stand in the center of this spot and you speak, you will hear your own echo.
Yeah.
But no one else will hear your echo.
Right.
They'll hear you, but they
Yeah.
won't hear the echo.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
mean,
done
it's-
this, Matt?
Yeah. I mean, if you live here, most people have. It's one of those things. I belong to, I'm sure this is what happened. I belong to Facebook groups and this gets posted from time to time.
Is there a Matt plus Leslie on there somewhere?
There is not. I probably know somebody that has written something on here.
I'll bet you, you do.
Yeah. I personally never wrote anything in that area, but I mean, yeah, it's weird, but like, I don't think it's like center of the universe is just a nickname for it. I don't know why it's called that. I mean, because obviously it's not the center of the universe. There's also like,
But what if it was?
there's also like an access to like a drain area by the river that they call like the door to hell or something, the devil's door. And it's just like a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's legit.
You got one of those
You
hills.
can check it out.
When I come down, I'm going to have to go there.
You got one of those hills that you when you're going up it, you're actually going down. Yeah.
Yep. Been there.
Yeah.
Can't explain that one either. I mean, I can explain the hill thing based on physics and knowing what's going on, but when you're there, like you're like, no, this isn't right. Like, gravity isn't working on the planet in this one spot or something. What's going on? It's really weird. But, yeah, and the original. Well, okay, everybody claims this.
Isn't that one in Texas? Or isn't there
The-
one in Texas? The road
Where they push it across the railroad tracks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one
Yeah.
that's here doesn't have railroad tracks though.
Oh, okay.
It's an actual hill. But we also have what's supposed to be the original Crybaby Bridge here. But the bridge is
yeah.
actually gone and has been replaced long ago. But there's a lot of those that exist.
No goat man.
Yeah. And then lots of haunted stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
It is what it is.
I came across this while I was, because I'm always fishing for memes and shit for the like page.
Yeah.
And I come across
seems
this one.
fair.
And for one, I wanted to ask you about it if it was legit.
It is.
And so
Chris
that I
was
could
very
go-
upset when he messaged me about this. He's like,
I was like, that
I've known
mother-
Matt Nat for how long,
How
and
do
he
I
has
not know about this?
That's exactly what he said.
I told him, I said, we're throwing him under the bus.
Well, it's not like, you don't like stand in the middle of it and reappear across the country or anything. I mean,
It's not a teleporter.
you can hear yourself echo, and like the person over there says they can't. So, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of
There's
interesting.
no real way to even prove that that's true either.
Well, no, you
Obviously,
can't
trust,
prove it.
but you trust the person you're with.
I wonder if you sat in there with a recorder, if the recorder would hear your echo. I wonder if anybody's tried that.
Matt, you have homework.
And see, the echo thing wasn't the thing whenever I was growing up. Like the echo thing has become the thing.
Okay.
Whenever I was growing up, it was all about the fact that like you could like whisper to people far away.
Huh.
Like be in the middle and have somebody stand at the edge and you could like whisper to them, or two people standing around the edge could whisper to each other across the circle or something. It was weird.
Huh. How big is it? The whole thing?
Not real big, but like it's a circle, I would say maybe 50 feet across.
Yeah. It's pretty good size though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're standing across from somebody 50 feet in an open air place and you're whispering to each other and you could hear each other, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found that and I'm like, fucking hell. How did I not know about this? But yeah, I'll have to check it out when I come down because I definitely will be coming down this year, later on this year. Like I was talking to you before, the only thing I don't know now is that, my son, he's been talking to me about, he wants to pick up a job this summer. He really wants to upgrade his computer because he's excited about that Cyberpunk game that's coming out. I had to sit here the other day, which I didn't mind. Like I'm not saying this like I had to sit through this thing. He wanted to play me like the 45-minute gameplay video that they put up on YouTube, and it's pretty fucking cool. But he wants to have his computer upgraded to be able to play that, and I told him, I'm like, I stand behind you. You know, if you want to get a job this summer and you want to work and make the money, you know, if there's any way I can help you, I will help you. And he's asked me if I will sell him some stuff on, you know, I've already got some of his stuff listed on eBay. But he asked me if I'd put up some video games for him, and some other stuff to, you know, help him get some money. And I said, of course I will. And I told him I'd even help him set up a PayPal account so he doesn't have to wait for the money. You know, I can just send it right to him. But I'm actually proud of him that he wants to, you know, go out there and do this on his own. You know, I've helped him out as much as I can with, you know, we gave him some money for Christmas to go towards it. He just bought himself some new RAM. But now he's like, yeah, I got the RAM, but I don't have the new motherboard and processor. So
buying this shit one piece at a time.
Yeah, he's
well, hey,
doing it.
I mean, is he going to build his own?
Yes.
Is that what he's doing? Yeah, that's the best way to go.
Yep. He's got friends that know how to do it. His friends actually went out like a year ago or so ago and built him a tower so he could play games with them online. And I gave him one of my towers, my old towers, and I said, hey, you know, if you guys can use this, or if your friends can, you know, strip out the motherboard and the processor out of this and use it, have that. You know, take it, do whatever you want with it. And you know, like I said, we gave him some money for Christmas to that he's putting towards some of that. But he literally last weekend, because he stayed long last weekend, where it was vacation. And Sunday night, was it Sunday night? He told me that his RAM was already at the house, or it was Monday morning. I can't remember. And I was like, all right, we'll take you home. You know, I'm like, you can go home early, dude. I know you're chomping at the bit to put that shit in. So I friggin' got him home, and, you know, I messaged him later and I was like, how's it working? He's like, it works great. He's like, but, you know, he's like, but I know it will work better when I get everything else. So he's happy, but at the same time, he's like, I still want everything else. So I'm proud of him that he wants to do that. So, and
in one summer, he can definitely make enough money to.
He could make enough money if he really did it. He could make enough money to just buy a whole computer. Like, he could probably save up enough money to buy like Alienware.
I'm sure that he wants something that is more fit for his needs that he wants to put together himself, and that makes more sense anyway.
Well, he's got friends that really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I, like I said, I support him on this one. You know, if that's what he wants to do, have that kid. You know, do your thing. And I know that, like, this weekend he didn't come over because he was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go over and hang out with my buddies this weekend. Hey, it's your vacation, dude.
He's that age anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
hang out with Dad some, but not all the time.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me. You know, when I get to spend time with him, I have a great time. We watched Dr. Sleep, like I said, was telling on the show last week. We watched Dr. Sleep last weekend. That fucking movie was awesome. Yeah, I definitely need to read that book now. I've never read The Shining. Probably should have. So I'm gonna go back and read both of them, like back to back. I don't know if I'll do it after I'm done with Weave World or what. I've got a bunch of other books I really want to get into. But like I mean, my big problem is like there's so many series I want to get into. Like, I want to start reading Dune before the new movie comes out. But I know if I read Dune, I'm gonna be in fucking Dune world for the next fucking like 3 months. Because there's, I don't know how many fucking books in that series. There's 6 in the original, and then his son started writing them. So, I mean, that's that's going to take some time. And I just finished all those Stephen R. Donaldson books, and he's got another 4-book set to that same series that I really want to get into. And I'm telling you, this fucking goddamn Kindle is my. Oh, you can't even barely see it. That's amazing.
Man, that's one fucked up Kindle.
That's a fucked up Kindle, man.
But it's like renewed my lease on reading. Like I can read anywhere, anytime. It's comfortable. I can see it. It doesn't hurt my eyes. I'm blown away by how much I've read.
I busted out my old Kindle Fire yesterday and charged her up.
Did you?
I did.
Wow.
I decided that would probably be easier for me to just, download stuff and read it. And
it is. And I'll tell you too, Matt, if you grab, I don't know how much it costs. I got it included with mine for like 30 days or something. And the Kindle Unlimited. There's so many books you can read for free. Like all the Harry Potter books are on there. There's a ton of old school books that are on there. And they put a lot of newer stuff on there too as well, which surprised me. I was like, huh? But they put a lot of shit on there too. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a ton of crap that you can read.
It just, and we've talked about this, but my hang up is still the same. Like, I don't like digital media. It's very convenient. I love it for that. Okay. It's great. But I don't like the fact that I own something, but I only have access to it in the cloud,
Yeah. And I get that, but the thing that I like about it is I can put anything I want in that library on my Kindle, in the cloud, whatever, it's all tied to my Amazon account. And I can, if I'm out and about anywhere, I can just download a book as long as I got Wi-Fi. I don't have to, I don't have to have the physical copy. I can just download it anywhere. Now, so for me, because how long I balked at it. Like, I was so adverse to it. I was like, fuck that. I like books.
I mean, it's the direction that everything's going, though.
Yeah. Well, for me, though, it wasn't the direction that it's going. It's that it's easier for me to read. Like, it's easier on my eyes. It's easier on me to hold it. It's just easier. And I got thinking about it, and I was like, maybe because of the way that I use it, I probably should have just fucking gone with the El Cheapo Kindle Fire.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the fucking Paperwhite. But I'm still actually glad that I got the Paperwhite. Because yes, if I want to go down the beach and read, I can just shut the light off and
the Paperwhite's legit. You don't need a fucking tablet.
Yeah. I have no. Yeah, you're right. I have no need of a tablet.
You were wanting a digital book. You weren't wanting a tablet.
Right. Exactly. The only thing is that they charge you insanely more.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That can do insanely less.
Yeah. Oh, you want an electronic book? Okay.
Yeah, and
want it to look like paper and ink and everything. All right, we can do that.
And it fucking does.
Isn't that weird,
dude? I actually went out in the sun, not like in the room here with the sun coming in the window. I went outside, turned that fucking thing off, and it's like looking at a fucking piece of paper.
It's so weird.
I mean, with the exception of that, at some angles you kind of can get a shadow from the other parts of the device.
Right.
It's not that, but very,
if
very
you're looking at it like you're supposed to.
Yep.
It looks like a book page.
It looks like a sheet of fucking paper. It isn't. It's crazy. But
and
like
the way that they texture the screens and everything on them, like it's weird.
Oh, I mean, it freaked me out when I opened it up when I
And
first
you
got
thought
it.
somebody had wrote on it?
Well, no. I thought it was on.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"What
yeah.
the fuck?" So then I
Yeah.
hit the button, and then the screen wipes it all off, kind of, and the screen comes up, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" So every time you shut it off, it gives you this screen,
Mhm.
but it uses no power. It just puts that screen on there. And it's always like calligraphy or
Yeah.
pencils
An
or
old illustration from a book.
yeah, it's just weird shit that they put on there, but it is so cool. And like I said, it's giving me a whole new lease on this reading shit, and I'm gonna delve into so much that I never was able to before. And I like every time I tell you how far I am in a book, you're like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, we'll talk about this more in depth later, but like you recently read The Fireman
Yes,
by Joe Hill. So
yes.
last night I was looking into that book and I was like, okay, well, if I got it, I'd want to read it fairly quickly. And I go and look and it's like 700 and something freaking pages.
hmm
And I'm like, Chris read this in like a week.
I read it in like 4 or 5 days.
Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. And here's the weird thing. I went up to one of the bookshops that I frequent to pick up used books, and I talked to the old guy in there all the time. He's a wicked nice guy. And he's the one that I was telling you has all those Dark Tower books that are
Mhm.
like limited edition for like
Yeah.
$100 and something dollars. So I walk in, and the first thing I see up on his shelf, right next to his Stephen King books, is The Fireman by Joe Hill. So I instantly go over and take it down to look at it. $40. Like I think it was like a signed copy or something like that. No, it wasn't a signed copy, but it was like a first edition, like I think it's brand new.
I was going to say first edition signed copy. You better go back and get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. For $40. So I got talking to him. Like I was like, yeah, I just read this. It's an amazing book. I absolutely love it. And we get talking. He's like, I can't remember if he said I think he's better than his father, or if he said everybody seems to think he's better than his father. And I said, I don't know if he's better, but I think he will be. Like if this is how he is now, he's going to surpass his father.
I have some reading to do before I
Yeah.
can form an opinion.
Yeah, you
But
do.
one thing that will always stick out in my mind is even if his writing ability or his imagination or whatever does end up surpassing his father, it's Stephen King.
Yeah.
You're better, but your dad's the one that invented it.
Yeah, no, hey. The first thing I said to him was, hey, I grew up on his father. Like he'll always be the one for me. Like I like Joe Hill. I like what he's doing. And after reading that book, I instantly went out and bought a 4-book omnibus on Kindle. I've got Nosferatu, 20th Century Ghosts, Horns, and shit. What's the last one? I can't remember. No, I'd have to look. Hold on.
Heart-shaped box.
Yes, that's the one. Heart-shaped box. You fucking got it. So I have those 4 to read too.
Are you still watching Lock and Key?
We got 2 episodes in, and I haven't been able to get back to it. I like it. I like it a lot. I came close today. I went to Bull Moose. That's one of my favorite stores to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a hardcover graphic novel of Lock and Key. I don't know how many of the like graphic novels that is put into one, but it was like 30 something bucks, and I came close. I came close and almost pulled the fucking trigger. But I was just like, nah. I want to watch the show and enjoy the show, and I might at some point go back and check out the graphic novels because it looks really cool. Like, and what he's doing, like the stuff that he's doing, trying to bring back horror comics. I mean, he's going in directions like that.
He's going back to the roots that we
Right.
grew up on.
Right. He's going back to the roots, but he's also going back to things that his father couldn't pull off. I think. I think that his dad, a lot of that stuff didn't translate well to screen at the time. And his stuff doesn't translate well a lot of times anyway.
Right.
Like, his stuff is better on the printed page than it is on a TV screen or a movie screen. It just is. The way he writes, and his son's very much like him in his character development, but not quite the same. It's really weird. And it was kind of interesting because the firemen, there's a bunch of scenes. It all takes place in like New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine. And all these areas I know very well that he talks about. And the end of the book, they're traveling like up 95, and it is right by me. Like, so he's like referencing all of these landmarks, and I'm like, I know right where that fucking is. So it's and the same, like, his father didn't do a lot of that. His father made up towns.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
He created
And some of those he based on other towns. But like Salem's Lot, Jerusalem's Lot did not exist. It was a town that he made up over by, Cumberland, Falmouth area. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to delving deep into the Joe Hill library, because he blew me away with the fireman. Blew me the fuck away, dude. If you can force yourself to read that book, I totally recommend it.
Well, like I said, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it's so fucking good. But yeah, the stuff I want to read, it's crazy, and I'm just like, I just don't want. Some of the times I don't want to go down the road of starting to buy the books, because I know it's just going to be one book after another book after another book, and I'm just going to be like shelling out money. But like Steve was telling me, I need to go to the library and see what I can get from there to just read, because a lot of the Stephen King books they have. I didn't look into Joe Hill when I looked into the Maine State Library, because the interesting thing here is you get a library card at your local library, you have access to the state library.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, yours does the same.
CleveNet, which is
Cleveland
library.
But the thing that bummed me out was they have a lot of the Stephen King books, but a lot of them are not ebooks. They have them as MP3s, as audio, the book on tape. So, and sometimes I can listen to them, sometimes I can't. The Game of Thrones books I was able to listen to. The guy that they had reading those did excellent. And I when I was delivering the paper for a while, that's what I would do. I put on the Game of Thrones book, whichever one I was listening to, Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, whatever the fuck it was, and I just do my route. When I was done, shut it off. Next morning, start it back up again. And I went through a lot of those books that way. But I was actually reading them too. So I would just mark my place in them and go back into the book and read, and then skip ahead into the audio. And so I was doing a lot of that. But I prefer if they would have them as the ebook, so I could just download them to the Kindle instead of having to listen to them. So
the good thing about the library angle is that it's free. You don't have to pay for them.
Yeah, and there's a lot there.
And there's generally a waiting list to get them too.
But if you have a library card at your local library, which grants you access to the state library or whatever, it should grant you access to all the public libraries.
I think that's something that they might be working on. Because
especially for the digital stuff. I mean,
well, wait, Matt, isn't that socialism?
Yeah,
no?
Matt, you god dang socialist, you.
No, that wouldn't be socialism. Nobody
Free libraries for all.
No, socialism.
Libraries aren't socialism.
No, socialism would be you get to keep it, and
Well,
somebody
I'm
else
sure
pays
there's a
for
way.
it.
No, I wonder about that because it didn't look like you'd had to wait for the ebooks, Steve.
Maybe it's she orders some on CD, and then may or may not, you know, she
Oh,
orders some on CD that
Oh,
she
okay.
has to, or DVD or however they. But it's still it's still electronic. It's it's not an audiobook.
Uh-huh.
So those
Yeah,
may
but
be
then
the
you
ones
have to
she's
like
waiting.
load it into your computer and read it on your computer.
Well, she makes it work with her Kindle somehow or iPad.
Well,
'cause
you
she
can
has a
a
Kindle
lot of
app.
times if you can put it on your computer, you can download it to your Kindle.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
transfer it over.
Yeah. I wonder how that works though. If they have if it has like a like when you rent a movie on like Amazon or something, it doesn't go away after 48 hours.
Well, if
Or
you
whatever?
rent, I think it does. If you're downloading it as a straight Kindle book, if you're
Hmm.
getting it on CD and copy
Right.
it to your computer, obviously.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, like that's the other thing that I noticed about my Kindle is like I've got an 8 GB, and based on what I was looking at for the memory that I've used for what I've already downloaded, Christ, I could put a shit ton of books on this fucking thing. I could carry around a library like I used to have in that fucking room.
Is it
Remember that fucking
expandable?
room,
Is it
Matt?
expandable at all?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
You'd think books would take up a lot more space. Well, I guess it's just printed word is all it is.
Yeah, it doesn't take up much at all.
Just
And
text
I have
files.
I already have a ton of books in my library. I mean, I've already downloaded a bunch. I've got a Magica, Weave World. I've got 6 Stephen R. Donaldson books. The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. H.G. Wells, Complete Fiction. H.P. Lovecraft's Complete Fiction. I've got a bunch of stuff already on there. So it was pretty cool. My son, that book that I bought, the leather-bound book, the Complete Works of H.P. Lovecraft, because I got it on my Kindle now. I mean, I bought that book because it looked cool, and I wanted to have it. And now, now of course, I was never gonna read it. And my son asked me, he's like, "Do you mind if I said, "I don't." I said, "The only thing I ask is that you never get rid of it. You keep it." Man, he was elated because there's a lot of stories not in the one that I gave him, because I gave him one of mine and it had a bunch of H.P. Lovecraft stuff in it, but not all of it. And he wanted to read all of it. So I was like, yeah, take it. It's yours. He almost took that Lord of the Rings omnibus that you sent me, Matt. Because I told him, I said, I'm like, Matt sent this to me, but if you want it, if you want to have a copy, a nice copy, you're more than welcome to it. And he's like,
Yeah.
he's like, well, it looks cool. He's like, but
Thank
I
you.
don't know that I'd ever read it. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, I like it sitting right there where it is. I have it sitting right in front of me, Matt.
Everybody needs to read it once.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing that's cool. On the Kindle Unlimited, I can read all of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
This show was brought to you by Amazon.
Yeah, no shit. I should be getting paid.
Here's a question I wanted to ask you about it.
Okay.
Are you more likely to reread a book on your shelf or reread a digital book?
More likely to reread a digital.
See, that was something else I started thinking about. And I honestly think I'm more likely to reread a book on the shelf.
Yeah, I'm more likely to reread something on here than a book on the shelf. Just because of the
Easy
way
to
my
access.
eyes work now. I'm getting to be an older man. I mean, in case you didn't notice, there's a lot of fucking gray under there and down here. My eyes don't work like they used to.
You don't get to use that as a reason.
That's the reason.
I'm saying, like, if my Kindle's off and it's in the drawer somewhere, like, I'm not going to turn it back on until I like get a new book on it, and then I'm going to read that book and then I'm going to put it back up. Where a book on the shelf, like, I can see it. It's going to grab my attention. No,
because as much as I'm picking this thing up all the time, that's the thing.
But it's like, new.
No, dude, I don't foresee myself stopping anytime soon. like one of the things I every time I would pick up a book, okay, and I would get frustrated because this has been a long time. Kind of back when I was married, I was having problems reading, and so once I always said, like, every time I would pick up a book that, why don't I do this more? It's so much better than watching a TV show or watching a movie. I enjoy it so much more. I get more out of it. There's almost like a sense of accomplishment when I'm done with it. And since I've gotten back to it, I love it. Like, I read through all of the Stephen R. Donaldson, Thomas Covenant, the 2 first trilogies. And I had read the first trilogy twice before. Once when I was in high school, and once when I was it was when my son was like not even 1. And of course I remembered a lot of it, but there was so many blank spaces where I was just like, oh, how the fuck did this? I can't remember this. And going back and rereading it was absolute fucking joy. Not being reintroduced to the characters again, but being able to read about them again and remembering, oh yeah, how much I love this. I just, time will tell, Matt. In 6 months, we'll see. If I'm still fucking picking this thing up and going, God damn it, Matt.
Damn you.
I can tell you, my wife has been using Kindle since the Kindle came out, and she reads it more than she would a book.
Yeah.
So, and to answer Matt's question, so I mean, it's just her go-to thing. She reads at least an hour a day.
And I find that, okay, so I can buy a Kindle book when it first comes out for cheaper than you can buy the hardcover. And that's the thing that is more appealing to me, because the prices don't really come down a lot.
No, and you usually have to wait for the paperbacks.
Correct. And there's also a lot of cheap stuff too. There's a lot of book series that are priced appropriately. Like, you go buy a Stephen King novel, you're paying $8 or more for that book on Kindle, on the Amazon store.
You can
Same
buy
thing with Joe Hill.
You can buy Ryan Redding's book for 99 cents.
Ooh, can I?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to piss on my Kindle.
I've bought and read cheap books before, but they're usually, nonfiction books.
Yeah. I've found so much good about it that I can't foresee, like I said, I can't foresee myself stopping I've been really going at it. And since I started reading Weave World, I kind of slowed down a little bit. But I've been doing some other things too, but it hasn't stopped.
But you're an avid reader. I mean, you've always been an avid reader. If you're not, you're going to put the thing away and forget.
I was reading before I hit school. This one thing, my father's dyslexic. And when he was growing up, that was considered to be a form of retardation, if that word can even be used anymore. I don't fucking know. Well, oh well. And he was mocked for it. So he wanted his son to be able to read before he went to school. So he pounded it into me. Dick and Jane books when I was real young. And I learned to read. I was reading Jaws at like age 7. And it just, I never stopped.
Whenever I was a kid, I read all the freaking time.
Yeah.
And the older I got, the less I read.
Yeah.
But here's one positive aspect of the e-readers, though, for me, is that if I buy a book and download it on there, I immediately start reading it and I'll read it. If I go to the store and buy a book, you might as well flip a coin as if it will ever get opened or not.
Well, and the thing too that I like about an ebook, okay, so I've bought these books, I own them now, I own these digital copies. If this thing somehow gets ruined, I still have them. If I drop a book in the toilet, I'm not saying that I drop books in the toilet, but let's just
It
say
can happen.
it can happen, or wherever, that book's ruined. I mean, I had one of my dogs puke on a book.
I had a dog eat a book. I was fucking pissed.
I've had a dog do that too. But I have I had a really nice copy of Weave World, hardcover, and my old dog Gizmo puked all over it. I was so pissed.
But see, here's the thing that I think about, which is stupid. There used to be a bookstore here called Borders.
Yeah, I loved Borders.
And that, I was in there all the time. Bought
Mhm.
tons of books in there. Borders went bankrupt. They closed down. They're no longer there. I still have those books. If Amazon closes down, I lose everything I've got from them.
Matt, I think it's pretty safe to say in our lifetime, Amazon's not going anywhere.
Hey, you don't know.
The FTC is cracking down on Amazon right now. Now, will they go anywhere? No, but they may be the next company that gets broken
But
up.
Jeff Bezos is the type of guy that could be like, I'm donating all of my fortune to the oceans. Like you never know what he's going to do.
Fight against straws.
You never know what he's going to do.
You're absolutely right. But I don't see it going anywhere.
Not anytime soon.
Lifetime. Not in my lifetime.
I would hope they would do something and be like, you know what, you can transfer these to whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, as long as I have them downloaded onto here, they're there. So I mean, I could technically, as long as I have a hard drive, I could download everything in my library and I will always have it. As long as I keep a copy on a drive that I'm using. You know what I mean?
On a format that
still
exists.
Right, correct.
I've read stuff about that. Like people have talked about that because, whenever you had vinyl and 8-track and cassette and like how those media forms are now obsolete and gone. And you like imagine trying to go out and buy a cassette player, like where are you going to get one? So they're talking about how like the same thing is going to happen in the computer world where different file formats will become obsolete as new ones are invented. So like, for instance, PDF is nice and safe right now, but in the future, you may not be able to open a PDF file anymore.
Yeah. I have to address this. Charles, fuck off. I'll say what I want. Eat shit. It's a word. It means too slow. Not too slow, to slow. To retard something, to slow it.
It's used in chemistry all the time.
Yeah.
Fire retardant.
So if you don't like it, I'll go take a nice mean shit and then you can lick my asshole. But back to my e-reader.
But we can't call you rude dude. That's kind of cool. Hey, that's rude, dude.
Rude to say, dude.
Sounds like a
1980s or 90s character. Yeah. You're a dog. I can picture it now. It's like a dog with a
rude dog.
No, what's rude is an entire fucking group of people on the internet fucking bashing a fucking 9-year-old kid with dwarfism. That's what's fucking rude. Not me using a fucking word.
You just used the word fucking. That's rude as well.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, Steve.
I am offended.
You should.
I need a safe space.
You don't have one on your green screen? It would be fucking funny if you had like a fucking safe space fucking green screen.
Oh, now you got me going.
Next week, you'll fucking have one. Oh shit. Yeah, listen. I mean, like I said, Matt, time will tell with this. But this is something that, I mean, I can't say enough good about it because it totally renewed my lease on.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong. there's no right or wrong answer. I was just wanting your opinion on it because it was something I was thinking about.
I think you should go with it. At least try it. Try downloading the fucking book and just seeing what you do with it. Something that you.
No,
really
I have. I've got a couple books that I've downloaded and read on them in the past and everything.
But I mean, now, going forward.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Try it. See what happens. And then go from there. For me, it's just worked out so great. So, like I said, I can't say enough good about it.
I'm glad you made the leap.
I so fucking am I. But I think we beat the fuck out of this show tonight.
We didn't even talk about the Skinwalker thing. Right?
Barely. The Skinwalker. I mean, that's the thing about Skinwalker Ranch that it's only like kind of. It's weird that it's named that.
Yeah.
Because like the Skinwalker itself is kind of like peripheral in the whole thing. It's kind of like a nod to the Navajo legends around.
Right, but like the actual reservations that surround the property aren't Navajo reservations. They're not Navajo land. They neighbored Navajo land.
Correct.
Like the whole thing is just kind of weird. And so like here's the deal. I was like, okay, hyped up. We're gonna do this show because I'll be honest, the Skinwalker Ranch, it's always been one of my favorite topics since I learned about it. Like, I think it's cool. It's a cool concept or whatever. It's got interesting stories. But then whenever I started actually researching it, it's so popular. There's so much stuff out there. This motherfucker, like, will I ever be able to get through one single thought without you doing something to disrupt it?
Shh. I'm in my safe space.
Yeah. Stay in there. I'm done.
What were you fucking saying? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. It's become so popular that there's so much bullshit out there about it. It's hard to weed through all the information.
Yeah.
There's just tons of stuff on it.
And like I'm saying, I was saying to you before, I think maybe this is something based on what you were saying that maybe we need to go a little deeper with.
I think so.
And I'm more than willing to do a deeper dive on this in a future show.
Well, I mean, any story. Here's the deal. The Skinwalker Ranch, one of the popular themes of the place was cattle mutilations back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And cattle mutilations have interested me because whenever I was younger, a cattle mutilation incident happened on my cousin's property. And I know they weren't responsible for it. I'm not saying it was aliens or anything like that.
Right.
But because of that, I've always had an interest in it because whether it's aliens or devil worshippers or whatever, it's really weird that anything or anybody would do that to me. Like, I don't understand it. But anyways.
Yeah. No, I think we should do a deeper dive on it. And go way more in depth, and I'm willing to look into it. Like I said, I sat and listened to a bunch of stuff this afternoon when I got home. Katie was having some problems with her internet. She wasn't sure she was going to be able to get me anything, so I instantly came home, started fucking watching shit. But I can go way deeper. I mean, and I'd definitely get with you about trying to get some of the information for it. Something I'm gonna bring up. Is anyone else streaming this, or is this the only stream? This is it. Wolf Mercy. It's just this, and then I put the audio up on as a podcast on Anchor, and also asked, "Can I come talk with y'all?"
Do you got a story to tell?
I mean, most times the people that we have on from the chat doesn't work out so well.
No doubt.
But
yeah, we'll absolutely do it.
Yeah, you might not.
Chris is dedicated to this idea and will most definitely do it.
You're an asshole. I just our experiences with having people on doesn't work out so well. So I'd be willing to talk with you about it, but chances are I'm going to say no when it comes to having you on. just to be honest with you. I
would be very interested in hearing why you want to be on.
has I don't know if it's a he or a she.
It's
It
Wolf
did
Mercy.
say- it did say one of my ex-girlfriends was insane. One from my
okay.
ex-girlfriend was insane. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. One
Jeez,
from
what
my
is with you tonight?
I know, I'm fucked up. And I'm sober as shit too.
Are you saying that you have mercy on wolves, or
we-
that you are a furry named Mercy?
Yeah. We need to understand. And he says, I assume it's a he.
You may want to watch a few more shows before you commit to wanting to be on one.
On this show?
Yeah. Oof. But yeah, I mean, I more than likely I'm gonna tell you, no.
No, you don't have to behave.
However, Matt likes to hear these stories.
Yeah. Hey, we got more than one platform here.
You can fucking hit him up. What's that at? bigfootcrossroads@gmail.com.
bigfootcrossroads@gmail.com.
There you
Send me
go.
an email.
Shoot him an email. Are we any closer to starting that?
We are.
Are we?
That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about.
All right. Well, fuck. I gotta fucking wrap this fucking show up then. That being the case, Wolf Mercy, get in touch with Matt. bigfootcrossroads@gmail.com. He always likes to hear strange stories from people, so hit him up. And who knows what'll happen. But this has been the Fortean Slip, episode 126, Skinwalker Ranch. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe. Check out Mr. Matt Knapp over at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and Cryptid Tales. You can check us out over on Anchor at anchor.fm/the Fortean Slip. You can go over and check out Missing Memory Phil Poling at youtube.com/para breakdown. And maybe at some point his memory will break down so much that he just forgets to start putting up videos anymore. Check out our good friend Dred Funn over at dredfunn.com and youtube.com/Dred Funn. And check out our good friends over at High Society Radio. That would be Bronx Johnny, Chris from Brooklyn, and Chris Stanley at gasdigitalnetwork.com. I know those guys are going to be down in, is it Houston for Skankfest next month?
There's a festival called
Skankfest. Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Oh, and I would love to go. I would love to go. My favorite comedian is actually performing there in March, so at Skankfest. Jim Norton, I do believe. And I'll be seeing him in April. So maybe with a blue beard and blue hair.
I thought you were going to say Carrot Top.
That would be my favorite.
You mean the Red Hulk?
Yeah.
Until next week, everybody. See ya.